welcome back to our next of devotion class. So last week we couldn't do the class because of Swami Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj's classes. So we'll try to catch up that class sometime in March. We'll just do two classes in 1 week. Okay, just a quick recap where we were last class. So this is the whole NOD in syllabus of Bhakti Shastri. So we are doing the second wave right now. We have done the first wave. In the second wave, we are discussing the Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti, and Raganuga Bhakti. So particularly, we discussed chapter 3 and 4 in last class, which relates to Sadhana Bhakti. So we'll just go through that quickly, and then we'll start chapter 5, which is the independent nature of pure devotional service. The chapter 3, eligibility of the candidate for accepting devotional service. Anyone remembers what is the theme of this chapter? We've done it twice. It's a quick theme. What are we discussing in this chapter? Anyone? Okay, the chapter title itself does it. What should be the eligibility of the person who want to execute devotional service? So what is the eligibility? You remember? That's a one word.
The attraction to the Supreme Lord.
Thank you. Thank you. So attraction to the Lord. And how does that attraction comes? Someone else can say. So when attraction is there, we execute devotion service. When we execute, the attraction increases. When the attraction increases, we execute more devotion service. But the cycle is self-sustainable. But how does the cycle start?
With the association of a pure devotee, Prabhu.
Just one word. More
Sukruti.
Mercy.
mercy of a pure devotee. Someone mentions mercy of a pure devotee. So initially we don't know anything. So if pure devotee even glances upon us, just by his glance, by his prayer, by his any touch of his body or of his words, we get that sukriti, we get that desire. I need to do something for Krishna. And that's why pure devotees always keep moving around. Okay, so we discussed about 3 types of devotee. I'll not rediscuss that, but that was based on faith and knowledge. Kanishtha-adhikari, Madhyam-adhikari, and Uttam-adhikari. For the classification of Kanishtha-adhikaris, we discussed about 716. Anyone remembers the examples of Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi, and Gyani? Artho, number 1 example. Who was the Artho who went to
Gajendra.
Gajendra? Okay, Mo?
Jnano
Sages of Naimisharan are
Artho Jigyasu, yeah. Artharthi?
Dhruv Maharaj.
Gyani?
4 Kumaras.
Thank you so much. Everyone remembers the things. Advancement in pure devotional service. So anyone can start with a little attraction towards Krishna, but how to advance in pure devotional service. So one line which Prabhupada mentions again and again in this particular verse, liberation from the bodily concept is essential for advancement. So if you are in too much bodily concept, you cannot advance. So as you advance in devotional service, your bodily concept should go minimal or get reduced. So they say, what is that sign of attachment to Krishna? Your material attachments should decrease. If your material attachments are increasing, that's particularly not a sign of advancement. It can be a sign of aparad. It says when we do some Vaishnava aparad, one of the symptom of Vaishnava aparad is our attraction to material world increases. So if our attraction towards material things, material positions, it is increasing, there may be a very good possibility we have just committed a Vaishnava aparad. That's why we have to have a lot of good devotee association who can give us feedback. As Keshav Maharaj keeps saying, they can tell us, Prabhuji, Mataji, you're not going on the right path because your attraction to Krishna should increase and materialism should go down. So anyone remembers a Bhagavad Gita verse in relation to this? Who can sustain in the devotional life? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says one verse. We have discussed it many times. So one is the starting. I'm not talking about the starting. Anyone can start from anywhere. Who will be able to sustain in devotional life? Who can advance? 728. Yesham tandakadam papam jananam punya karmanam. So one who has stopped doing the sinful activity. And who will stop doing sinful activity? Who does not have a bodily concept. If you are identifying yourself with the body, sinful activities will happen. Okay, then we talked about witches of karma and jnana, and Rupa Goswami gives this beautiful verse: Bhukti mukti spraha yavat pisachi hirdi vartate. So bhukti mukti, if you have a kamna, if you have a desire for bhukti, bhukti means enjoyment, or mukti, that means impersonal liberation, that is called pisachi as per Rupa Goswami. So I'm not saying it pisachi hirdi vartate. If you have those desires in your heart, it's like you're haunted by a ghost. Bit strong words, but that's what Rupa Goswami says. One who has the desire for mukti, liberation, and bhukti, sense gratification, bhukti means sense gratification, is described as being haunted by ghosts and witches. He cannot relish the transcendental taste of devotional service. So bhukti, you can say how strong it is defined here. So our taste for material world is increasing. This is like a witch or a ghost in our mind. So they are controlling us. Our strong desires are controlled. Narottam Das Thakur said in a beautiful verse, I can't remember the first line here. When I'll receive the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Sansara basana mora kabe tuchhe hoibe. Sanjay Vyas Prabhu, you remember the first line of this? So sansara basan means the basana, the desires we have for the sansara basana mora kabe tuchhe hoibe, when it will become very insignificant, because we all have this sansara basan, huh? We have this enjoying mentality for the sansar. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying that Nityananda Prabhu, please give me mercy so that my sansar vasan can get out of my mind. It's not very easy. Same thing Rupa Goswami is saying here. Then we took some examples from Srimad Bhagavatam of very major devotees who have expressed a similar desire. They have no interest in bhukti or mukti. I'll just quickly read. So Kapila to Devhuti is saying, pure devotees seek form, face, and pastime of the Lord. They are not interested in liberation. Even if I give them diyamanam na gradhanti, even if I give them the liberation, they don't want it. They do not take it. Udhva, speaking with Lord Krishna, is saying devotees do not desire gain from dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. Devotees just don't have anything to do with that. They do it as a formality because they have a body, they have to be running in the world. Lord Kapila Tehuti, again, devotees' heart filled with service and sankirtan. Their heart is not filled with desire of sense gratification. And final verses from Dhruv Maharaj. Pleasure from meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord gives them extreme pleasure. As Dhruv Maharaj, when he had the darshan of the Lord said, what do you want? He said, I have your darshan. I don't want anything else. So just by having your darshan, all my desires are fulfilled. Okay. And we took some other literature examples. So one of them by Srila Bilomangal Thakur, Krishna Karnamrita, and another one was by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, Chaitanya Chandramrita. So these both are also very, very famous verses, especially the Prabodhananda Saraswati verse, Kaivalyam Narakayate. Kaivalya, impersonal liberation, is like Narak, is like going to hell. Very strong word. And then Rupa Goswami goes towards the end of the chapter and saying, liberation you will get automatically. You don't have to strive for liberation. Liberation from the bodily concept substantially deepens one's realization that the objective of life is to satisfy Krishna, not one's bodily urges. The Krishnindriya Priti Vancha Dhare Prem Nam. So if you want to please the senses of Krishna, that is called Prem. Atmendri Priti Vancha Dhare Kam Nam. So if you want to satisfy your own desires, that is called Kam. Okay. Consequently, it promotes one's adhikar, one's qualification for advancement. However, liberation comes automatically to a devotee. Anyone remembers an example in relation to this, that the liberation comes automatically? We discussed it in the last class. So a devotee does not strive for liberation. Liberation automatically comes. Even it says actually liberation comes and it stands on the door of a devotee with folded hands and say, how can I serve you? A devotee says, get out. Not interested in liberation or in any sort of ashtasiddhis. Devotees are not interested. Anyone remembers one example from Shastra?
Olavicha Shridhara, he was
Sridhar, thank you.
interested.
Yep. He was given by the Lord a full boon, anything you want, and he said, no, I'm not interested in anything. Anything else? The good example, Mataji, I was thinking something else about the liberation. So Kulavcha Sheda, you can say for Ashtasiddhis. That is the correct example for liberation. So in the liberation, was to be granted, or there's a discussion. Haridas Thakur and Gopal Chakravarti, if you remember. So they had a good discussion where Gopal Chakravarti and Haridas Thakur was sitting in a debate. Haridas Thakur said, devotees don't strive for liberation. Liberation is just a byproduct. And Gopal Chakravarti became very angry. He said, oh, you Mohammedans are telling us Brahmanas, huh? Look at the Kali Yuga, look at the Kali Yuga. And he sort of cursed Haridas Thakur in the discussion. He said, what you are saying is wrong, and because you're wrong, your nose will fall off. And after a few days, what happened? His own nose started falling off because he was wrong. And Haridas Thakur was speaking from Shastra, and that sort of proved that liberation is just a byproduct of devotional service. It's not the goal of devotional service. Okay, chapter 4, sort of similar theme. Rupa Goswami goes in chapter 4 and gives more and more evidences. It says devotional service surpasses all liberation. Rupa Goswami is hammering this point again and again because in Vedic culture, a majority of the people think that liberation is the goal. Moksha goal hai, huh? They think Krishna is a Brahma Jyoti, and merging in that Jyoti is the goal. Many of them. So Rupa Goswami is just hammering this point again and again. Now, this is one of the shortest chapter in the book. It only has 27 verses, and these 27 verses are quotes from different Shastra, which proves this point again and again. Devotees are not interested in bhakti or mukti. Srila Prabhupada writing, as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj was given an example, and he was saying, if you want to go to Sydney, for example, and you come in the outskirts of Sydney, if you have a desire to merge into the Supreme Person, then it's like going around the Sydney, but not going inside the Sydney. So you'll be going around the Vaikuntha basically, huh? In the Jyoti, because that's what you want. But you're not entering into, so you're not tasting the taste which devotees get while serving the Lord and his devotees. So Prabhupada said, you cannot enter into the realm of, you cannot enter into Sydney. You can go round and round, you cannot enter into Sydney. Shukdev Goswami, any person whose heart is attracted by transcendental qualities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudan, does not care even for that liberation which is aspired to by many great sages, what to speak of material opulences. Shukdev Goswami saying the same thing. Krishna will award bhakti only to those who are not inclined towards mukti. So even if you have a tinged desire for mukti, why mukti is not so much encouraged? Any one point anyone can give? The bhakti is not encouraged, we understand, but why mukti is not encouraged? Bhakti means personal sense gratification, and mukti means merging into
Because there is no chance of service to the Lord, Prabhu.
Yes,
After
Mataji, that is correct. There's one more point that is absolutely correct, what Mataji said.
The
One
mukti
more
is
point.
already included in the bhakti process.
Yes, that is there. More.
Um,
There's
so
one common point between bhakti and mukti. What is that one common point? Yes, Sanjay Prabhu.
it is something that we are still desiring for ourselves rather than desiring something
Thank
for
you.
Krishna.
The center is me. I want bhakti or I want mukti. Bhakti means I want to become very famous, very wealthy, and blah, blah, blah. That's me, okay? Me-centered. And mukti is also me-centered. Why? Because I understand this material world cannot give me any pleasure. So I need the pleasure. I can't get the pleasure here. So I need to get out. So who's the center here? I, me. So because I is the center, not Krishna is the center, that's why devotees don't want it. For devotee, anything, anywhere, anytime is fine. Mam janmani janmaneshware bhavatad bhaktir ahetapitoy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not praying to go back to Godhead. He's saying, I can take unlimited births, I don't mind, as far as I'm serving devotees, serving the Lord. So because the center is me in bhakti and mukti, definitely not the right thing. We read few examples of, say, Vratasura. I'll just quickly read few lines. Na naka prashtam na cha parameshtam na sarabhavam na rasadipathyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kanksha. So Vratasura, although being in the body of an asura, a demon, but he has such a high level of Krishna consciousness that he is saying, I don't want anything to do with this world. This is the famous verse by Lord Shiva, Narayan Parasarve Nakutashanibhati Swarga Apavarga Narkeshwa. So clearly three words are used by Lord Shiva, whether it's Swarga, whether it's Apavarga, or whether it's Narkeshwa. Anyone knows that Swarga everyone knows, Narak everyone knows. What is the meaning of Apavarga? Prabhupada explained it very nicely. Apavarga. We read this many times. What's the meaning of it? Sanjay Prabhuji.
It's transcendental to the material world. Pavarg is
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu's screen is frozen, I guess. Hare Krishna, Sanjay Prabhu. Okay, anyone else? Prabhu has already started the meaning.
I think it is beyond the
sorry.
pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. These are
Yes.
the points that are there.
Yes. Sanjay Vyas Prabhu is back. Sorry, Prabhu, your screen was frozen that time. Yeah. So,
Yes, I was,
yeah.
yeah.
You want to continue, Prabhu?
I was just saying the same thing as Ujjwal Mataji was saying, but in a much more broken way. So she completed that for me.
Okay, so Pa-varga refers to this material realm. And why this material realm? As Ujjwal Mataji was saying, Pa, Fa, Ba, Bha, Ma. So there's a whole series that's called Pa-varga. What does Pa refers to? Anyone? Quickly, you can unmute.
Parishram.
Parishram. Pa means parishram. Fa.
Fena.
Fena.
Prana.
So when you do a lot of parishram, lot of labor, what fena comes out? You get tired, huh? Gadha majuri in Hindi they call it, huh? Gadha majuri means so much hard labor we do, huh? The fena comes out. Pa, fa, ba.
Bandhan.
Bandhan, bondage. So if you do a lot of parishram for the phala, you get bandhan. Pa, fa, ba, bha.
Bhaya.
Bhai.
Aya, we always are in fearful. Prabhupada said out of these four, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, out of these four, the most prominent one is defense. We are not always eating, we are not always sleeping, we are not always mating, but we are always defending. We make sure we are sitting under the right roof, huh? We are traveling on the right plane, huh? Something. So defense is so bhaya, because we are in bhaya. Okay. Papa, Baba, Ma means
Moha.
Mrityu.
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 This is called Mrityu Sansara Sagara. This is Mrityu Loka. Everyone dies. No matter anything else happens or not happens, but if you leave anything, it will die. It will die. A small baby to big person, everyone will die. Everything will die. This is called Mrityu Loka. So Papa, Baba, Ma, this is called Pavarga, and Apavarga is exactly opposite. That means transcendental realm. So devotees don't even care about transcendental realm. They don't care. That can be a very amazing statement, but it is what it is. So Swarga, Apavarga, Naraka. So it's covered everything. Devotees do not. Nakutashan Vidyati. They're not bothered. They're not scared about anything. Api Tulyartha Darshana. Rather, they see it as Tulya. Tulya means equal. Amazing, isn't it? They see Naraka, Vaikuntha Loka, or Sarg Loka. They're all equal. Wow, this is amazing. This is what the statement of Lord Shiva is for the devotees. Nag Patni's similar prayer, not read that. And Shukdev Goswami gives many references in Bhagavatam, which Rupa Goswami has picked up. I'll just quickly say 5:14, 44, 6:111, 6:18, 74, 7:625, Prahlad, Indra, Gajendra, Nag Patnis, and Shrutis, all taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, clearly establishing the fact devotees are not interested in bhukti or mukti. Okay, so these are the examples for material opulences, which is bhukti. Now, these are the examples for liberation or mukti. So first famous example, famous verses. Salokya Sharishri Samipya Sarupya Ekatvam Apiuta Diyamanam Na Grahananti. So couple they are speaking with Devhuti mother. Vina Mata Sevanam Jana. What do they want? Mata Seva. Just my devotional service and nothing else devotees would like. This we already discussed. Haridas Thakur with Gopal Chakravarti. Hanumanji statement also Rupa Goswami has picked. Isprahayami na muktaye. So mukti ki ispraha nahi hai. I have no ispraha, no desire for mukti. Hanumanji, if you ask Hanumanji, would you like to get merged into Lord Ram? What Hanumanji is going to say? Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram. I just want to serve my Lord. I am happy sitting by the lotus feet of Lord Ram and serve my Lord. Yeah, it doesn't make sense merging thing. And then Rupa Goswami gives more examples from Srimad Bhagavatam about liberation. So previous one was about material opulences, rejecting the material opulences. Here the verses are quoted for rejecting the liberation aspect. So we have Prathu Maharaj example, Vaikunt Nath or Lord Vishnu to Durvasa Muni. We can see the picture as well. Lord Krishna to Uddhava. Two quotes are there. Lord Shiva to Devi. And Padma Puran, Damodarashtak. Yes, we have that one there, Narad Pancharatra and Hayashira Pancharatra. Similar quotes are given by Rupa Goswami. And finally, at the end, Rupa Goswami says, Vraj Bhakti is the topmost. Forget about material opulence, forget about the liberation. Vraj Bhakti. So out of many kinds of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of the Lord Krishna in Vrindavan is considered to be the foremost first-class devotee. And that's what we follow, trying to follow. Okay, so let's move that. Now, chapter 5. So here we are starting the chapter 5. So what we have discussed so far, the eligibility of the candidate who want to perform the devotional service. We read about devotees are not interested in any sort of liberation or any sort of material opulences. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Name Pratishtha Sukare Vishtha. If someone wants to become very famous, Pratishtha means fame. It is considered like Sukare Vishtha. Everyone understands Sukar? Varahadev appearance is coming soon this weekend. Sukar Vista. Sukar who eats Vista. Hog who eats stool. Imagine his stool. How unpure that would be. So if any one of us, including me, ever desire to become very famous, you should remember this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Name Pratishtha Sukare Vista. So we are not doing anything for our Nam fame. We are here to please devotees, please Krishna, please the spiritual master. Now, Rupa Goswami is going to this chapter 5, which is purity of devotional service. So he has talked about the candidates of devotional service. Now he's glorifying devotional service. Anyone remembers what we discussed in introduction in chapter 1 about devotional service? So introduction, we discussed the definition of pure devotional service, which is Anyavilashita Shunya. That's what we discussed in the introduction. What did we discuss in chapter 1 of NOD? 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. What are the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service and how do they manifest for different sadhakas? We discussed that. Now he went to the candidates who can practice the devotional service. What should be the eligibility? How does it start? How does it sustain? And what's the mood of devotees? Now he's coming back to the glorification of devotional service and he's saying how pure the devotional service is. So we're talking about the Uttama Bhakti in chapter 1 in introduction. Now he's saying how pure it is. And purity here refers to the independent nature. And we'll read about it. So he's again glorifying devotional service. The transcendental nature. What is the transcendental nature of devotional service? The execution and perfection. So there's 2 words here. Execution, like day-to-day execution, and attaining the perfection of devotional service is not dependent on any material consideration. Any material consideration. It can be anything. In Uddhav Gita, Lord Krishna speaks with Uddhava. There's a famous verse where he says, Bhakti Sanjayate Bhakti. Everyone would have heard this. Bhakti Sanjayate. Sanjayate means increases Bhakti. So what is the cause of increasing Bhakti? It's Bhakti. There's no material cause. You may be a very pious person. You may be vegetarian. You may be very famous person. You may be a pure Brahman. A lot of scholarly knowledge you may have in your mind. But these are all considered material consideration. And Bhakti is not dependent. Not only a scholarly person will become a devotee. Brahman will become a devotee. A person who has another consideration which are considered very high in material sense will become a devotee. Nothing like that. And we'll see all those aspects. Execution and perfection. These are the 2. So we'll read about execution as well as perfection. How do you reach to the pinnacle of it? So Rupa Goswami in this chapter explains 3 processes which are generally considered by the general mass of people in this material world for self-realizations. What are the 3 processes? Anyone can say? Famous 3 processes besides bhakti, which people take up to if they want to progress in self-realization. So there's a karma. Thank you, Prabhuji. So there's a karma marg, There's a Jnana Marg and Dhyana Marg. Huh? So these are the three famous things which people follow if they want to progress in self-realization, or they have to do anything with their spirituality. Karma Kanda, you can say. Karma Kanda or Karma Yoga also, we can include that here. So a yajna cannot be successful unless the time, place, ingredients are flawless. Do you agree with that? Huh? You cannot perform a yajna anytime. You'll go to a Panditji, Panditji will give you a muhurat. Huh? So after 12 days, there is a Amavasya or Purnima, or in this time to this time, this muhurat. If you perform the yajna will be successful. Huh? If you remember a pastime which comes in Mahabharata, where Duryodhan went to Nakul. Everyone knows Nakul. Nakul was a big astrologer. And Duryodhan, although on the opposite party, went to the Nakula and said, Nakul, can you please tell me what yajna should I perform so that I can win this battle? He's asking this party. Imagine if one of us will be there. Will him the exactly opposite thing. Nakula, being Nakula, devotee of Krishna, he said, yes, I can tell you a yajna. If you perform this Kal Bali yajna on Amavasya day, then you will win the war. And he told all the ingredients and all those things. So day after tomorrow, when Duryodhan met with Nakula, the Amavasya was there. Duryodhan became very happy. Thank you, Nakal Prabhu. And he went into his camp preparing for that yajna because it had to be performed on Amavasya day, which was just 2 days after. Krishna came to know about this instance in the night, and he goes, see, Krishna is telling to Nakula and Pandava, see, I am trying to, save you, or you yourself are putting yourself in trouble. Huh? So I'm constantly trying to save you. And this Arjun takes a vow, Yudhishthira takes a vow, Nakula tells all the secret to the opposite party, what I'm going to do. And Nakula said, but what do I do, I'm a Pandit, I'm an astrologer. When a client comes to me, I have to be truthful. And Krishna says, for your truthfulness, I have to do so much extra work now. So what Krishna did, he said to Pandavas, we are going to do this Kalvali Yajna tomorrow. Tomorrow was not Amavasya, that was a day before Amavasya. And Krishna says, we'll do this Kalvali Yajna tomorrow. Anyway, Pandavas are very obedient servant of Krishna. They started doing the preparation. All the sages started coming because Krishna has called upon it. Everyone was coming and helping in preparation of this Kalvali Yajna. And this Surya and Chandrama on the sky was looking at it. Why Krishna is doing this yajna on a day before Amavas? Krishna is the knower of everything. And Amavas is tomorrow. Then Surya and Chandra also got confused. Are we on the right calendar? Have we looked at the dates? Our calendars are aligned. Are we looking at the GBC calendar or another calendar? So they all got confused, and Surya and Chandra, they came down to see Krishna, and Krishna was extremely busy. So they stood in a queue waiting for Krishna to get some turn and have a speak with Krishna. And when they got their turn, they were standing with the folded hands to Krishna, and Krishna says, so, why are you here? Krishna, if you don't mind, we have one question. What is your question? I think Amavas is tomorrow. Krishna says, is it? Okay. So what is called Amavas? He said, when Surya and Chandra are aligned, that's called Amavas. So right now you both are aligned. That means today is Amavas. So we are doing the yajna today. So Krishna changed the whole calendar to protect his devotees. And Pandavas did the yajna. On that day, it was considered as Amavasya, and they won the war. That's just one aspect of looking at the whole picture. So Krishna can do anything to protect his devotees. And when Duryodhan came to know about it, he was just crushing his teeth. So although he knew the secret of winning a war, but he could not execute it because the yajna had to be performed on a particular place and particular time. Twasta is another example when he was trying to create a demon who can kill Indra. So he performed the yajna, but the chanting of mantra wasn't perfect. He just performed, he chanted the mantra little incorrectly. He went little more Indra, Indra, instead of Indra, he said. And that becomes, he will not be killed. He will not kill Indra, but he will be killed by Indra. So Pratasura eventually got killed by Indra. So we know these examples. So these things won't work. Place has to be pure. You can chant Hare Krishna in your bathroom. Can you perform a yajna in your bathroom? Tell Panditji, this is the place where you're performing yajna, and Panditji will run out of your house. You can chant Hare Krishna mantra anywhere. Purity or impurity is not a consideration. But for yajna, these things are considered a lot. Jnana Yoga. So Jnana Yoga. many Gyanis in Bhagavatam 6.1, Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj when he asked the question, how can we stop these jivas to go into the Narak Loka? So one of the marg he says Karmi Marg, which Parikshit Maharaj denies, and then he says Gyan Marg, and he describes 8 characteristics of Gyani, and Parikshit says that's too much. That's too much. So Gyan Yoga can only be performed by very big scholars, thinkers. Prabhupada actually writes, only sannyasis can even enter there. He writes in the purport, requires a peaceful, renounced disposition and highly developed intellect. How many years are intellectual? Just learning 4 verses or Bhakti Shastri exam is difficult. People negotiate even on that. Prabhu, can we do 3 or 2? It's very difficult. We are not intellectual, at least I am not. Very difficult to remember even few things. And the third one is Ashtanga Yoga Marg. Ashtanga Yoga, you have to take severe vows, do long tapasya. How many of us can do tapasya? Even one Nirjala Ekadashi in a year is difficult, at least for me. Somehow we do it. So, Ashtanga Yoga Prabhupada demands many rigid prerequisites that only a sannyasi can even begin to adopt. Forget about the success of it. We're just talking the execution of it. So, this karma, jnana, or Ashtanga Yoga Marg, Dhyana Marg does not work. As Prabhupada writes, Bhakti Yoga includes karma, jnana, and dhyana. Anyone can explain why Bhakti includes all of it? Karma. Karma means you're working for someone. But working for someone, do you love that person? If you're working for, say, Westpac, your boss is there. I'm not sure about Sundar Gopal Prabhu, but usually we don't love our bosses, usually speaking, unless he's a devotee. Usually we don't. We don't like even those conversations once we finish office, Hare Krishna. So you may work for someone, but is it making sure that you love that person? But if you love that person, you'll definitely work for the person. Vijay Gopi Mataji will love Janaki. The Janaki is already getting served by Vijay Gopi Mataji, isn't it? Because the love aspect is there. But if there's only work aspect is there, love may be there, may not be there. May be there, may not be there. But a mother always loves the kid. A chaste wife always loves the husband. So she takes care of the husband, or mother takes care of the children. Because love aspect is there, karma will always be there. No matter how tired the mother is in the middle of the night, when the alarm clocks goes off, child wakes up, mother never says, oh, let me sleep, you're waking up in the middle of the night. No matter how tired the mother is or father is, they will make sure baby is well fed, nappies are changed and everything. So karma is already included. Jnana means you have a lot of knowledge about that person, but you may still not love it. You may be a PhD, but does it mean you love Krishna? Many people do PhD in different aspects of Krishna consciousness, but they don't not necessarily love Krishna. But if you love Krishna, you'll automatically want to know more about Krishna, isn't it? Because you love Krishna. That's why we're doing Bhakti Shastri, not to get a certificate, but to be able to help us to love Krishna more through these books, through this knowledge. Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga means you're attaining the Supreme, or you're connecting the Supreme with your dhyan, with your thoughts. But again, you may think about someone, but you may not love it. Example, Kansa. Kansa was thinking about Krishna? Yes or no? He was thinking about Krishna all the time, more than any one of us, I guess. He was thinking about Krishna. But was it that in love of Krishna? No, it was an enmity of Krishna. So you may think about someone, but you may still not love it. But if you love that person, will you think about that person? Vijay Gopi Mataji is in India, thinking always about Janaki in Australia, in Sydney. Thoughts are in Sydney. Body is in India. Or anyone. I'm just giving one example. Where is Janaki, by the way? She ran away. Anyway, so we understand the point. Just a mother and kid example is very appropriate. Prabhupada used to give this. So if you love someone, you will work for that person. You want to know about that person, and you will develop more knowledge, more acquaintance with that person. Whatever pleases that person, you want to do that. So Bhakti Yoga, it says, includes all 3 yogas. So if you are performing Bhakti Yoga, performing devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord, it includes everything. But if you're doing individually, you may not love the Lord. You may just work for the Lord. You may have knowledge about the Lord. You may have thoughts about the Lord, but not love about the Lord. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is superior to all other yogic processes. Yes, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, thank you for a quick clarification. I know Keshav Maharaj was also sort of mentioning there are many sort of yogis who come to Kumbh Mela, and I was sort of also inspired by that sentence. I was watching a YouTube video. I'll come to the question, but like there is this person that YouTube video was describing who has his left hand up for 7 years. I'm not sure if you've come across him. So my two-part question is like this person, he's got his hands up for 7 years. My two-part question, first one is whatever he is following, is that an authorized process for self-realization in Ashtanga Yoga, or just like it's just mentally concocted
No,
process of
it's
realization?
it's Ashtasiddhis, Prabhuji. These are all Ashtasiddhis, as Maharaj himself was saying, and I don't remember all the names, but this is one of the Ashtasiddhis because people want to become powerful. This is bhakti, basically. You want to enjoy material world. Now, Prabhu, suppose you're working in an office environment, you get some salary, and with that salary, you build your house, you look after your family, and you buy some clothes and cars and blah, blah, blah. But you also have enjoying mentality, not as a devotee, I'm saying this is a normal person, but their enjoying mentality is big one. Prabhupada said, they can extend their hand to Afghanistan and grab a pomegranate from there. Prabhupada said that. So their enjoying mentality is just a bigger one. Scientists says this is karma marga, enjoying mentality. So this is not a process of self-realization at all, actually. It's just bhakti. Self-realization actually comes higher, where you realize that I've got nothing to do with the material world. This is just enjoying mentality. But many times people put it as a synonymous to the spiritual advancement. If you can do some siddhi, you can show something, you can produce some sugar out of ash, people consider you as very spiritual. But actually, it's got nothing to do with the spirituality. It's material. In this body, you have done some tapasya, you got some siddhi. If you leave the body, the siddhi will go. It's like you leave the
Ji.
body, your PhD will go. The siddhi will go. Simple as that. So it's got nothing to do with spirituality in the real sense.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So all these three marg, which we are mentioning on the screen, Rupa Goswami clearly says are not needed at all for the bhakti, because bhakti already includes all this in a very sophisticated way, actually. Okay. And then Rupa Goswami gives some points, very nice, which is written by Srila Prabhupada. So I'll just read some Prabhupada words, beautiful. Only Bhakti Yoga is completely pure, free from any dependence on external prerequisites. So all these are considered external prerequisites, but Bhakti is very, very pure. Purity means it does not require anything. You don't have to practice any jnana, don't have to practice any ashtanga. Prabhupada said, when you jump in the kirtan very high, that is our pranayam, and you breathe very, very fast. That is our pranayam. Prabhupada said that. So when you dance in front of God, Nitai, Radha Gopinath, very fast, as much as possible for your body, that is our pranayam. So we are doing everything already. And Prabhupada said that's why Prabhupada entitled this fifth chapter as Purity of Devotion. So purity means no mixing at all. Prabhupada once was in America. I just remembered this. And he was looking at a shipping company who had a logo. In the logo, it was written unalloyed steel. Prabhupada says unalloyed is only devotional service, because devotional service unalloyed. So anywhere Prabhupada was looking, he was looking at devotional service. Everything else, he said, in this word is mixed. Devotional service is only unalloyed. Beautiful. This is beyond all material consideration, not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstances. Like it's not related to only Indians can perform, or only Americans can perform, only Brahmins can perform, only rich people, or only poor people can perform. Nothing to do with any circumstances, society, or class. Open for all without any distinction, because it is the constitutional occupation of all living entities. Prabhupada writes, devotional service is the birthright of a living entity. Beautiful birthright. We talk about freedom is our birthright, but freedom is not our birthright. We are not free. We are not free. But devotional service is the birthright of every single living entity. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's contribution to above principle, because when Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was there, there was a lot of opposition to Vaishnavas. Because after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the planet, around 250 years, that time wasn't very favorable for Vaishnavism. Many upper sampradayas came and they sort of contaminated these definitions, trying to contaminate the Sampradaya. So Bhaktivedanta Maharaj had to fight back. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had to fight back. So he smashed Nityananda Vansha. Anyone remembers what's the definition of Nityananda Vansha? Very quickly, very obvious actually. So one who appeared in the dynasty of Nityananda, they were claiming that we are the only one who can perform devotional service, who can execute devotional service. And that was purely based on, you can say, greed. Because if they would have temple, they will be the only pujaris and people will come and give all the respect and donations to those people. But Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they fought against it. He said, no, anyone can perform. So they are respectable people, but it doesn't become their birthright that they're the only authorized people. Establish that devotion service is not restricted to a particular class of men. We'll discuss about each one. Establish that anyone who's engaged in devotion service is already a high-class Brahmana. Now, you cannot say if you are today performing devotional service, you are certified as a high-class Brahman. Devotional service, my Guru Maharaj said, you have to win the heart of Krishna every moment. How often? Every moment. So you can be a devotee today and a demon tomorrow. Possible? Anyone else experiences that, or it's only me? You can be demon next moment, isn't it? So right now you may be in a very devotional mindset. You are standing in the temple, you are with devotees, you are in katha or kirtan, but as soon as you exit, and sometimes while you are in the katha, your mind goes in a very abominable place. It happens with all of us. So it's not that you got initiation, then you are a high-class Brahmin. Not like that. So yes, you are. For now, given you keep performing with the same strength till the end of life. Establish the foundation on which ISKCON is built. This is what we follow here. This is an international society. It's not Indian society. It's not Brahman society. It's not Hindu society. All these material designations are not there. It says international society for Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was so clear on that. Srila Rupa Goswami mentions several common prerequisites for self-realization, such as good birth, purity, and proper execution of Varnashram Dharma. He explains how bhakti is not dependent on any one of these three things. So we'll discuss about good birth, purity, and proper execution of Varnashram Dharma, because these are the three main points, especially coming from people from India. They discuss, I'm a Brahman, they say. They may be smoking cigarette and drinking alcohol. They say, I'm a Brahman. I also have a thread. So let's look at each one individually. Birth. So Rupa Goswami talks first about the birth. Although generally considered a disqualification from the path of self-realization, low birth does not impede the execution of devotional service. So if you're born in a so-called low birth, it does not stop you to do any devotional service. Any examples anyone can give? A person who is born materially in a low birth, low caste, but he or she was a great devotee of Lord.
Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur, thank you, Mataji. Mo?
Vidura.
Vidura, thank you, Prabhuji. Mo?
Narada Muni.
Narad Muni, thank you. Thank you. Narad Muni was born as a son of a maid servant. Yes, Mo? Sudama was a Brahman, just material consideration. So, a low birth. Andal, Andal was from a low birth. No, actually, Andal was a so-called Brahman. But Andal was a lady, but she approached. Anyway, Kubja was there.
Ratnakar.
Hunchback,
Ratnakar, Valmiki.
Daku Ratnakar, thank you, Prabhuji. Daku Ratnakar was there. Shabri was there. There's so many examples. Their birth did not matter at all. I'll just read Prabhupada line, beautiful, just written in italic. Our Krishna consciousness movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned proposition of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all the sections of the Western countries. The so-called Brahmins claim that one who is not born in Brahman family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. Now, if you remember, one of the Prabhupada disciples was telling this, I can't remember, Shruti Kirti Prabhu or someone else, he was saying, when these Western-bodied disciples of Prabhupada went back to Vrindavan first time, so the locals will not deal with them appropriately. Even if they wanted to buy something, they will not even touch the money. They will say, keep the 10 rupee note here and you take the stuff, will not touch that note. But once he leaves, they touch the note. And when they go to different temples, the pujaris are very discouraging. One pujari was telling then Radha Raman temple or Radha Damodar temple, one of them. He was telling this Western bodied person is saying, yeah, if you keep serving like that, next birth you may take in Vrindavan and then you can become Brajavasi. He came back in a discouraged mood to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada said, go and tell the Pujari, if you keep serving Radha Raman like that, next birth you will take in America and become a member of ISKCON. So Prabhupada was so encouraging to these people, and because his encouragement was based on Shastra, it was not just a mental emotion. And these locals misbehaved with the Western body devotees very, not in a nice way at all. Just trying to pull them down, and not let ISKCON flourish. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Srila Rupa Goswami nor by the strength of various scriptures. So Rupa Goswami or scriptures does not support these statements. By quoting Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Rupa Goswami confirms that advancement and perfection in devotional service is equally open to all people regardless of birth. And this shows how Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami was Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno. Nana Shastras. They're looking at Shastra. It's not saying, oh, I'm authority, you listen to me. No, I'm giving references. Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, Hari Bhakti Vilas, they're giving references constantly. Like previous chapter, only references, 27 verses. That's it. From different scriptures. He's just trying to prove devotees are not interested in bhakti and mukti. Now in this chapter, he's proving birth is not unimportant, but not is the utmost important. It's important in the sense if you take birth in a Brahminical family, in a Vaishnava family, it helps you from the beginning. But if you have not done it for some reason, it doesn't stop you to become a devotee at all. Many examples. So-called low-class devotee, and Krishna did anything for those devotees. I'm remembering one devotee in Bangalore, there's a Kanaka Khidki, where this devotee could not enter into the temple. So Krishna's Murti turned around to look at this devotee. Anyone remembers the name of this person? I can't
Gopi
remember.
Krishna.
Huh?
Udupi Krishna. Prabhu.
No, the devotee's name.
I
Who
think Prabhu
looked
Kanakadas.
It's Kanakadas.
Kanakadas. Okay, Kanakadas. Thank you. So it's called Kanaka Khidki. Thank you. Makes sense. Thank you, Prasanata Prabhu. So Kanakadas, so-called from the low caste in Jagannath ji. So many examples come. Low caste people could not go to Jagannath, could not offer. Jagannath coming and extending his hand to take the mangoes. And the pujari sees the mango seeds are there in the altar because he was offering this mango with so much love. Very nice. Now, evidences, Rupa Goswami gives some evidences. I'm just reading few. So, Padma Puran, sage Vashishtha to King Dilipa. My dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service just as he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magha. Now, the second line seems quite hard. Month of Magh in India is the coldest month. It's like December, January month. But he's saying everyone has the right. This is Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, Kashi Khand. In the country known as Mayurdhwaj, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in the Vaishnava cult. Look at this. So we're not talking just Prabhupada was very liberal. No, Shastra is saying this. Thousands of year old Shastra. And when they are properly dressed with tilak on their bodies and beads in their hands, on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. Isn't it Prabhupada said the same thing? You look like Vaikuntha man. When Prabhupada Brahmachari disciples shaved the head, nice shikha, antimala, bead bag in their hand, they look like a Vaikuntha man or Vaikuntha ladies. Hari Bhakti Vilas, any person who is properly initiated into Vaishnava cult certainly becomes a Brahmana. So there is no doubt. They are not just from our Prabhupada, they are exactly coming as it is from our parampara. This is a good example of Shabri. Shabri was a Shabar Jati. Now, many times we call her Shabri. Actually, we don't know her name. Like we call Brahman and Brahmani. So, Brahmani is not a name. So, Shabar Jati is a very, very low class, externally speaking. And she's a girl coming from that Jati. So, her name became Shabri. No one knows her actual name, actually. But Shabri is the one, she did not go to temple to see the Lord. Lord himself walked to her place to give his audience. So such a great Vaishnavi. Who is this in the picture? Everyone knows this. Kag Bhushundi. Kag Bhushundi is not even a human. Even in Pakshi, Kaka is considered actually a very low animal. Very, very low Pakshi. Very, very low bird. Kak is not considered good. You know why? Because Kak eats anything from garbage. Similarly, machli, fish is not considered very good because fish eats everything, including dead bodies. So Kak is not considered good. But Kak Bhushandi is one of the greatest devotee of Lord Ram. Huh? He is actually reciting the whole Ramayana, which Lord Shiva is reciting later on. Then Yagyavalk is speaking the same Ramayana. So Kak Bhushandi, such a great Vaishnava. He had an opportunity. Lord Ram asked him, "You want anything? I can change your body." He said, "No, I'm fine. No problem with this body of Kaka." And even Garud, who's considered the topmost of the birds, he comes and take lessons from Kak Bhushundi. Lord Shiva personally sends Garud to Kak Bhushundi to take lessons. So Kak Bhushundi, a Kaua, such a great devotee of Lord Ram. Jatayu, huh? Jatayu, eagle, they lives on meat actually. Huh? But such a great devotee, he says the fortune which Jatayu got, even Dashrath Maharaj did not get that fortune. Huh? When Dashrath Maharaj left the body, Lord Ram was not there for cremation. But Jatayu got that fortune because he gave his life for Lord. The Lord gave him so much respect. Hanumanji, a bandar, a monkey. How many of us like monkey? Even when we go to Vrindavan, we like to stay away from monkeys. But there's one monkey which is so dear, a famous story everyone knows, but we can still say for our purification. Once Hanumanji went to Lord Ram, someone told me that Lord Ram writes his devotee's name in a diary. So Hanumanji went with a lot of enthusiasm. So, Lord, do you have a diary of your devotees? And Lord Ram says, yes, I have a diary. They took this diary out, gave it to Hanumanji. Hanumanji went through from page 1 to page 100. He could not see his name. So, Lord, I'm not so pure, but still I'm your devotee, but I couldn't see my name in this diary. So, Lord says, this diary has the name of those devotees who remember me all the time. And I have another diary. Took out another diary. He says, in this diary, I write those names whom I remember all the time. And in that diary, only one name was there, which was Hanumanji. The Lord loves Hanumanji so much, so much. So just a quick example for this topic. Birth is not a problem at all. What to speak of human birth, even any birth is not an impediment to perform devotional service, and not the performance, perfection of devotional service. So Hanumanji perfected devotional service. Jatayu, Kag, Bhushandi, Shabdi, they perfected. Now we are the executors. uh, Perfection, not sure when the perfection will come. Okay, many devotees, I'm sure. Bhakti Dhir Maharaj said, many devotees will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Many devotees will go back to God. He is giving a class in Vrindavan in Kartik Mass in Krishna Balram Hall in the morning, 7:45 a.m. He is saying, many devotees will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Many devotees will go back to Godhead after a few lifetimes. And many people, many devotees sitting here will not go to back to Godhead for many, many lifetimes. So you can just judge yourself where we are at the moment. But Lord is open. Samoham sarubhuteshu. I am equal to all, and Lord is equal to all. So Lord is not saying if you are a monkey, you cannot perform devotional service. You are a human, you can. He's open to all, he's equal to all. Now, Rupa Goswami gives some caution, Prabhupada words here. However, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by acceptance of such initiation, his business is finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations. So whoever has taken so-called initiation, applies on me first, should not think just by taking initiation by such and such great soul, great sannyasi, that's it, job done. Radha Govind Maharaj was sharing one pastime in his class. I'll just repeat his words. He said one of the person came to him and Maharaj spoke about Guru Tattva in his class. So he came to him, he said, oh, thank you for the nice class. I also have a Guru. So Maharaj was very impressed. He said, yeah, very nice. So do you chant some holy name? And this person said, I have a Guru. Maharaj said, yeah, that's fine, but do you chant the holy name? He said, but I have a Guru. And Maharaj was a little disappointed. He said, but I'm asking you, do you chant holy name? But he said, do I still have to chant? Then what's the use of the Guru? And Maharaj said, if Guru can chant his rounds, that itself is enough. How Guru is going to chant the rounds of all his disciples? His conception was, once I have taken initiation, my job is done. I can freely do anything in my life. It doesn't matter. I'll go back to Godhead. That was his conception. huh? So that's not how it works. And we see many times in our communities as well, people take initiation, you will see them on the day of initiation and never again. So that's not initiation, as many times sannyasi said, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Just a formal admission into the university. We have to do a lot of hard work. If after accepting spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow rules and regulations of devotion service, then he is again fallen. So it's movement to movement. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of high-class Brahman. One has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly. And again, that's why we should not underestimate the devotees who have not got formal initiation as yet. Many times they say, oh, this person initiated, that is not. So that's one criteria, but that's not everything. So many initiated devotees are not following. So yeah, we have to be very, very careful. So that should not be the consideration of respect or disrespect. It's about what he or she is doing for Krishna in those moments. And I've seen many, many devotees not yet initiated, very, very serious devotees, and they're very inspiring examples. Okay, second aspect which Rupa Goswami discusses in this chapter is purity. So first was the birth and second is purity. Although a major prerequisite for other processes of self-realization, purity is not a factor in determining one's eligibility to perform devotional service. So Brahmans, purity, time, purity, sthan, purity, all these things does not matter. To begin karma and jnana, a certain level of purity is necessary, but one can begin bhakti, hearing and chanting, regardless of one's level of purity. So you can start listening Bhagavad Katha or chanting Bhagavad Nam anywhere, anytime. Khaite soite yatha tatha nam lay. What's the second verse of Sikshastakam? Nam namakari bahuta nija sarva shakti tattva niyamita ismarane nakalaha. There's no bondage of sthan, kal, anything like that. Even if a devotee falls down from the standard of purity, he need not undergo any separate process of purification, prayashchit such as karma or jnana. If you remember in 6.1 in Bhagavatam, this is what Parikshit Maharaj was proposed by Shukdev Goswami. And Parikshit Maharaj said, no, Guru Maharaj, that doesn't find good. And he gives a famous example of elephant bathing. So elephant takes a good bath in the river and he comes out and what does he do? He puts all the dirt again on his head. So this is what we do a yajna, we do some sort of tapasya, and as soon as the Savan month is finished, we start back to normal. Some people do Navaratri, I don't know the name, communities, and 9 days later, someone was telling even on the 9th they start eating the other stuff. 8 days they follow. Yes, I'm doing Mata ka Vrat or this Vrat and that Vrat, which is nice. But after 8 days, they eat double the quantity which they have missed out in the past 9 days. So that is not for devotee. Radha Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Apiche suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabha shipram bhavati dharmatma. So even if someone has performed a very, very abominable act, apiche sudurachar. So durachar, the higher degree is sudurachar. But what is the prayashchit of that? Bhajate mam ananyabha. If he is exclusively situated in my devotional service, Shipram Bhavati, he will become Dharmatma very, very fast. He doesn't have to perform any other yajna and prayashchit. If you remember in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a famous example. Subudhi Rai, who was a born Brahman, he was a teacher. He was the teacher of Nawab Hussain Shah because he was a Hindu Brahman, and Nawab Hussain Shah had taken birth actually in India. Although Muslim, he went to the Gurukul of Subudhi Rai. And Subudhi Rai, in the childhood, somehow Nawab Hussain Shah did something as a child. So he beat him on the back. So he still had a scar, Nawab Hussain Shah. So one day his wife saw the scar on the back of Nawab Hussain Shah and she said, who has done this to you? So, and whoever has done it, you must give him capital punishment. And Nawab Hussain Shah said, I was a kid, my teacher beat me, and my teacher is Subudhi Rai. I can't kill him. And the wife was very angry because in Muslims, the wife is known as begum. Begum, bina gum. They should not become in gum. So begum, and how can you displease your begum? So he was in very much dharm sankat. What to do? I can't kill my teacher. I was a kid. He did some beating to me that time. That was okay. So wife was very upset, and she finally said, if you cannot kill him, at least take his jati, take his caste. So he said, I can do that one. So what he did, he was, Muslims used to drink hookah. I don't know what's inside, but maybe some tobacco stuff was there. And he was drinking the hookah, and he put this hookah ka pani, he probably spit on Subudhi Rai. And just by the spitting of a Muslim on this Brahman, all the Brahmins said, you are not a Brahman anymore, you have become Muslim. So he went to many, many Brahmanas, was asking, how can I purify myself? How can I attain my Brahmanical qualities again? And they said, you just have to die. And someone was proposing him to take 7 liters of ghee, boil it, and drink all the ghee. He said, if I drink the boiling ghee, I will die. And they said, that's the point. Someone was saying, go to Tushagni. Tushagni means a very slow fire, very, very slow fire. You enter into Tushagni, a very, very slow fire. He said, I will die. Finally, he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think in Banaras, if I'm not wrong. And he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what has happened. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just laughed. He said, nothing has gone. Your jati is not gone at all. Huh? You just chant Hare Krishna. You are still a Brahman. And if you want to do any prayashit, any atonement, what you should do? He said, feed Vaishnavas rice, serve Vaishnavas with rice and sarson ka tel. He says, that is your prayashit. That means Vaishnav Seva. Vaishnav Seva, he said. These Vaishnavas are not so rich. You have some money, so do Vaishnav Seva and chant Hare Krishna. Your jati is not gone any. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking. Now who can deny that? Bhagwan himself is saying that. So jati, all these jativad in India, this was just created by Brahmins. This is Haridas Thakur, when he got beaten up, the complaint was not done by Muslims. The complaint was done by Hindus. Hindu Brahman went to the Qazi and complained against Haridas Thakur that this Muslim is chanting our mantra. So it was not the Muslims, it was Hindus. Many time, this caste conversion happens in India. This is actually due to Brahmins, because they neglect these so-called lower jatis so much, and they become fed up. Guru Maharaj was telling in a class, in the olden days, Shudras have to wear a bell in their neck, like a pashu, like an animal. So when they are walking, so the Brahmins will hear the bell, and the Brahmins will not walk on the same path on which a Shudra is coming. Can you imagine yourself in that situation? How frustrating and disappointing it will be, and you like to hell with this Hinduism. They became Christians, Muslims, and yeah, there were other reasons as well. One of the reasons was the high neglect of these Brahmins, high disrespect of these Brahmins to these lower caste people, and all these Muslims today, many of them are Brahmins in the past. Anyway, so there's no such consideration in devotional service. So many examples are given. One need not to become purified before taking up the devotional service. On the contrary, one becomes purified by taking up devotional service. So the process, you have to become purified and then sit in yajna. But here, you are sleeping. It says in Kumbhakaran, when he was sleeping, Ravan came to wake him up. So Ravan was saying, Uto, 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 get up, get up, get up. Ram has attacked Lanka, and he will wake up and he say, who? Ram? And he will sleep again. And he said, get up, get up, get up. And he'll say, who has attacked? Ram? And he will sleep again. So by chanting Ram Nam, even in his sleep, he got perfection. He got killed by Lord Ram. He achieved Vaikuntha. Kumbhakaran alas japo, anak jape das bhal. Anak means in Krodh. Ravan was angry. Yeah, Ram, he's rascal Ram, he's attacking Lanka. Rascal Ram. So Kumbhakaran alas japo, anak jape das bhal. Maha mantra soi jape Maheshu. Lord Shiva is always chanting Ram. So whoever chants bhava ko bhava anak alas hu, naam japat mangal das dise hu. So whoever chants the mantra with bhav sahit sankar jape, kubhav jape munibhal. Sorry, I'm just remembering all this in the mind. Layers are coming out. So bhav sahit. So Sankarji is chanting with bhav. Sankarji has so much emotion for Lord Ram. Kubhav jape munibal. Balmiki. He chanted mara. Kubhav. He was not chanting Ram. He was chanting mara. Kubhav jape. Kumbhakaran alas japo. Kumbhakaran was chanting in alas, in laziness. He was sleeping, Ram, Ram, Ram. And Das Bhal, Dash Griva, this Ravan was chanting Anak, means Krodh, anger, he was chanting Ram, Ram. Everyone got the good gati. So do you think we will not get good gati? Chanting 16 rounds, following 4 legs up to an extent, actually, we're trying to be as pure as possible, offering some arti, some bhoga. So we have a lot of hope, actually. We should never lose hope at all. We are in a very good situation, especially with Prabhupada. He said 70% chalega. Even if you're 70% pure, I'll take you. I have a backdoor key. I have a backdoor key. So we should be very hopeful and try to break through in this lifetime. This lifetime. Keshav Maharaj was saying in the recent classes, we're on the last lap of marathon. Don't quit. Don't quit. Last lap. We are just almost there. In millions of births, we have not chanted. Millions of births, we have done so much offenses. Millions of births, we have done so much sinful activities. Now in this birth, we are on the last lap of marathon. Just make it. Don't quit. Rather run fast. Run fast. You're so close. You're so close, all of us. And encourage each other. When someone is getting tired, pull him or her up. Chalo Prabhuji, Mangla Aarti jayenge. Prabhuji, let's go to Mangla Aarti. Let's go to serve this Swami. Let's go and do some pot washing today. Do whatever we can. It's the last time, and we can just make it. Okay, I'll just finish it, Sanjay Prabhu, and I'll come back to your question or point. Last one, to validate this claim, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes Bhagavatam, which says only qualification for beginning devotion service is to follow the principles given by the Acharya, which is in Prabhupada in our case. There's no need for any other method of purification. Whatever we follow. Some people say Prabhupada was liberal. I'm just thinking about two things about tomato and gajar. But Prabhupada ate gajar, Prabhupada ate tomato. You can rightfully, my grandfather had it, I will have it. So we don't have to think too much because there's so much distractions are also there. Just follow our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and that's about it. Yes, Sanjay Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhu, just want to clarify something on this. Please give me a few sentences as I ask this. So, Prabhu, I could be impure and I could be performing service, but if I'm performing devotional service, if I'm performing service with genuine devotion, then does that mean that there is some purity within me to perform devotional service? And I would just like to extend that to, and if I'm performing offenseless devotional service without any kind of offense, then would that mean that there is some purity? Or can an impure person, a person devoid of complete purity, can also perform offenseless service with devotional service, rather than just performing service, but it is devoid of devotion and full of offense, but just performing service? Yeah.
Okay, so Prabhu, what I understood is two-part question. So one is if I'm performing offenseless devotional service, and if someone else can also perform offenseless devotional service, but with purity. Is it right? So, Prabhu, in our cases, we are sadhakas. Sadhakas means we are doing some sort of sadhana as per our capacity. We're doing some sadhana. So, yes, we can perform devotional service with purity. But the point here is, if you remember 126, ahetuki apratihata. So if you can perform an offenseless devotional service, just an example, on Sundays, for example, but you still have 6 days of the week. So it will impact your devotional service or devotional mood when you perform offenseless, so-called pure devotional service. And that's fine. So Sundays, pure devotional service, just an example, but 6 days, it can be impure or it can be zero. For example, some only goes to their devotional suite on Sundays, which is fine, appreciated. But what do they do rest of the time? Similarly, for non-sadhakas as well, Sri Prahlad Prabhu gave this example very nicely. When we go to the city for Harinam, for example, many people shout at you, "Hey, Hare Krishna!" They make fun of you, for example. They may laugh at you. And, some boys can come and chant as well. So actually, they're offenseless that time. They're not performing any offenses that time. But how long do they last? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe half an hour. They will follow the Harinam party. But this Agyat Sukriti has gone in. But they are not sadhakas. They cannot come in temple and start worshipping Radha Gopinath on the altar. They have chanted. They are worshipable as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But this Agya Sukriti will lead them to further devotional opportunities. So it differs from non-sadhakas to sadhakas. And for sadhakas, yes, we can perform something, but what happens? My Guru Maharaj was saying many times we don't offend devotees while we are performing devotional service. We offend devotees while we are not performing devotional service. Huh? So when you are chanting, you're not saying bad names to your peer devotee. But when you're not chanting, you're in the kitchen, relaxing in the garden, पता है प्रभु जी उन्होंने क्या कहा? You know what that Prabhu was saying? But he is not just too much, Prabhu. This and that, blah, 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 blah. Huh? Do you understand my point? So
Yeah.
it has to come down to Ahetuki is there, but apratihata. Apratihata. So when apratihata, which is uninterruption, devotion service is there, then what happens? Guru Maharaj was saying, then suppose you chant 2 hours, in 22 hours, suppose you're not performing devotional service, just an example. So 22 hours of non-performance of devotional service will impact your 2 hours of chanting. So he's saying if you have a good mood, 22 hours, then your chanting will improve as well. And other way, if you chant nicely, then in 22 hours, you will have a better mood. So it's sort of,
Just a
complement each
follow-up.
other. Yes.
A follow-up on this. So, Prabhuji, when a person is performing a offenseless devotional service, in that moment, that person is exhibiting purity.
Yes.
But right outside of that moment, when they are not doing that, they could be impure.
Yes.
But then that doesn't inhibit their eligibility to then again perform
Absolutely
devotional.
not. Absolutely not. As we said, Prabhuji, when Jagannath Rath Yatra passes through, even just person sees Jagannath, Prabhu, doesn't do anything, just sees Jagannath, he gets an opportunity. Very soon he will go back to Godhead. Huh? Ratham tu Vamanam drashta punarjanma na vidyate. Anyone who sees Vaman here refers to Jagannath. Ratham, while establishing the Ratha, punarjanma na vidyate. So such a powerful statement, such a powerful statement. And he says if someone touches the Ratha, someone goes with the Ratha, just 10 steps. So powerful is that. Imagine you're organizing the Rath Yatra. How much Krishna will be pleased with those people. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna. There are some evidences. I'll not read them all. I'll just read quickly. Like there's Krishna to Uddhava, Narad Muni to Vyasadeva. A fallen devotee is better situated than a perfect karmi. It's such a beautiful statement. Huh? That's why they say you should always have devotee association, even if the devotees are not so good. Still, they will talk about Krishna. They will try to uplift you. Lord Rishabdev to his sons, Varnashram without devotion service is a waste of human form of life. Waste of human form of life. Krishna to the one who surrenders to Krishna is first class. Huh? Krishna Bhakta Bada Chatur. Huh? He's very clever. He's intelligent. Huh? Everyone else may be very intelligent materially, but not intelligent at all, actually. Huh? He may have many, many followers. Doesn't matter. Prabhupada said, one moon is better than millions of stars. One moon, one pure devotee is much better. Karbhajan Muni to Maharaj Nimi, we read, a person who has taken shelter of Mukunda is no longer indebted to anyone or any debt. We all have 6 debts. That person does not have any owings. Sardharmanu Parityaja, this is a famous verse. Agastya Samhita, a person duly engaged in service of Lord Ram is not required to follow Vedic rituals. Sakrade Prapannoyam Tav Asmai Iti Achate. So Lord Ram is not saying where you come from, what's your intention. Sakrat E Prapannoyam. Just even once you say Tav Asmai, Lord, I am yours. Lord, I am yours. Please accept me. Now, who can be more kind than Lord Ram? Krishna to the Supreme Lord takes away the reaction to the sinful activities of a surrendered devotee, same as 1866. 333.7 Kapil Devhuti Samvad. How glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name? Okay. Purity, one good example which came to my mind is of Ajamil. Was Ajamil pure? One of the most impure person, and Bhagavatam describes his impurity, what all activities, impure activities he had done. But still he went back to Godhead. And how long did he serve Krishna? Anyone knows? 15 years. 15 years. That's a very short period, actually. Very, very short period. Although he had a background of devotion, no doubt about it. But for around, 25 to 80 years, 60 years, he was lost. He was lost. But he came back, 15-year devotion, go back to Godhead. Bhagavatam describes all these instances. Now, the third point which Rupa Goswami explains in this chapter, execution of prescribed duties, because many times they say you have to become Brahman first. If you go to Udupi Krishna, I think Rasanand Prabhu was mentioning earlier, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation is there with Udupi Krishna Brahmanas or Mathadish there, and they had this linear system. Linear system is a Shudra will become Vaishya, Vaishya will become Kshatriya, Kshatriya will become Brahman, and then this Brahman will go back to Godhead. It's called linear system. Huh? You're going from bottom to top. So something like that. But in devotional service, it's like this. No matter where you are, you can go up from any point. Huh? So you're in stair 1, stair 2, stair 3, or stair 4. You are Vaishya, Shudra, Brahman, anyone has a right to go back up. And even if you are number 1, say Brahman in this case, you may not go up. And the famous story of Brahman and the cobbler. Krishna said that Brahman will take millions of lifetime. As there are many leaves in this tree, those many lifetimes Brahman is going to take. And cobbler will only take one lifetime. So Bhagavatam, Narad Muni 1:5-17, even if one does not execute his specific occupational duty, but immediately takes direct shelter to the lotus feet of Hari, there will be no fault on his part, and in all circumstances his position is secure. On the other way, Narad Muni says in the previous or the next verse, he says, on the other way, if you have performed all occupational duties perfectly, but if you are not surrendered to Mukunda, then all the occupational duties, Shama Evahi Kevalam. You have not got much result. Although you may be a perfect grahastha, perfect sannyasi, perfect vanapasi, if you're not surrendered to Mukunda, not much use. Uddhav Gita, my dear Uddhava, any person who takes shelter of me in a complete surrender and follows my instruction, giving up all occupational duties. Clearly, Krishna is saying, giving up all occupational duties. Now, gopis, when they went to Krishna, and Krishna says, go back your home, Istri, a woman should not come out of the house, and you have come out of the house in the middle of the night to see another man. From Vedic perspective, how sinful it is. Gopis said, we are not going to go back. Your husbands will not accept you. Your mother-in-law, father-in-law will not accept you. Doesn't matter. We are not going back. We are here for you and we will be with you. And gopis, those gopis who have broken so-called rules of material society are considered the best devotees of Lord Krishna. Best devotees of Lord Krishna. Because they went to Krishna, not they gave up all material conceptions at all. They are first-class men. Bhagavatam, my dear king, someone gives up his occupational duties as they are prescribed for different varnas and ashrama, but takes complete shelter, surrendering himself unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a person is no more a debtor, nor has he any need to bother executing the 5 kinds of yagyas for becoming free from simple contamination. Simply by discharging devotional service, he is freed from all kinds of obligations. So clearly, multiple examples Rupa Goswami is giving. Dhruv Maharaj, was he following any Varnashram Dharma? He was a perfect Grahastha or a perfect Brahman. He was a 5-year-old boy. And in 6 months, he had darshan of Lord Hari. And I think Vijay Gopi Mataji mentioned the example of Narad Muni. Just a little boy, no father, no mother, just serving some Vaishnavas, he got this inspiration and he perfected his life in the same body. He didn't have to change the body. Okay, these are some examples. Okay, some hands are there. I'll just finish this last one and then we'll take the question. So conclusion, Prabhupada writes, the conclusion is inspirational. Bhakti Yoga is totally independent and self-sufficient. No material impediment should discourage one from the path of surrender. We can see this Harinam party in Mayapur, thousands of devotees going around. Now, who cares? Who is from which caste, which creed, which country? Bhaktivinoda Thakur rather forecasted it. In future, someone will build a temple here in Mayapur Dham in which all the world, Russians, Americans, Europeans, black, white, yellow, green, all sorts of people will come and dance together and chanting the name of God Nitai. And that's what is happening right now. Okay, questions by Jai Dharma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, the gopis which we were talking. So, does all the gopis are like in the previous lifetime? They were like munis and rishis, and
No.
there
were multiple types of gopis, Prabhuji. There were some Rishичari gopis, some Devachari gopis, there were some Siddha gopis. So some came back from Goloka actually, like Lalita, Vishaka, and all the team. They came from Goloka. Some rishis became Dandakaranya rishis in Lord Ramchandra's time. They became. Some apsaras were there. Some devatas were there. And some humans who have perfected, apprentices were there. So there are different types. Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj explains there are at least 4 types of gopis. And someone was saying there are more than 12 types of gopis there. Yeah.
Thank
Okay. Ujjwala Samataji or Prabhu?
Prabhu, you mentioned about the 5 type of yagyas
Yeah.
that are not necessary to be done. So which yagyas you are they referring to?
Okay, I don't remember exact name, Mataji, but they say this Agnihotri yagyas. There are 5 yagyas. Do a morning sadhana, afternoon sadhana, like Gayatris, you can say. So we do 3 types of Gayatris. They have 5 recommended yagyas. Because say you perform 5 different sinful activities, to counteract each sinful activity, you have to perform those 5 yagyas. Example, when you doing jhadu in your house, you kill some living entities. When you're boiling dal, for example, you kill living entities. So for each, when you fetch water from the well, not in these days, so you kill some living entities. While walking, you kill. There are 5 types of sin which a person perform without any intention, obviously, we are saying. So to counter, there are 5 yagyas recommended for each grahastha they should perform, so that whatever sin you have performed in that day, that gets corrected
So it's to be done every day.
every day.
Mm.
And the Brahmins used to do. And just for information, Manu Smriti explains these Brahmanas will not lit fire with a matchbox, with a lighter, with the mantra. They'll chant the mantra, fire will lit up. It says in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1, sorry, 10.2, the atrocities of Kansa. Brahmanas could not light the fire because Kansa was so atrocious. Anyone who lights the fire, he will kill those Brahmins. And when Krishna appeared, Bhagavatam describes that Yagyak fire came out automatically. Automatically. So no one lit that fire. Because Krishna was here, he said to Brahmanas, don't worry. You perform your yagyas, I'll take care of you. The Brahmins were very happy.
Thank
So
you.
they will not have to find, some sort of matchbox. Machis kahan hai? Lighter kahan hai? They were so powerful Brahmanas, but they will perform all these 5 yagyas. Okay. Yes, Mohit Prabhuji or Mataji.
So just a quick question, like Mataji is asking about the 5 yogis, and you mentioned if we like kill anything unintentionally, like heating up the almo, and the yagya is need to perform. But sometimes we talk about like when we chant one name of Krishna is equivalent to thousands of yagyas. And do we really matter about this when you're doing chanting and?
That's what it is. Because your life, as a devotee, I'm saying anyone's like that, is you're cooking dal for Krishna. You're cleaning your house for Krishna. So in that sense, it doesn't matter. But we are very careful on the jivas. We read the story of Vasudev Datta, who had this leprosy, who had so many little insects running over his body. And the pus was so much, there were so many insects which will eat the pus. Just imagine if a fly comes in an open wound, would you feel comfortable? Fly is just sitting, like, oh my God. And these insects were eating the skin and the flesh of Vasudev. And and there were so many insects, they will fall down. Because there's so many of them, right? The open wound, insects are eating. He will pick them up and will place it back. He said, at least my body is useful to some living entities. My pus is useful for some living entities. Why should I devoid them of their bhojan? And he will put the insects back onto his hand or wherever the open wounds were. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that, he's like, oh my God. And he prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let all the sinful reaction of all the living entities come on my head. Rantidev, same thing, 45 days hungry still. So Jivere Daya, this is the first principle of Vaishnavism. If we are calling ourselves a Vaishnava, we have no Daya, we have no mercy, we have no entitlement to call ourselves as a Vaishnava. Now, we are not stupid, we are not saying that, but the Daya aspect has to be there in our dealings with each other. Sometimes we have to be practical for some reasons, but our heart should burn. And Radha Govind Maharaj was saying in one of the classes, even if you can't do something physically, when someone is in pain, you must pray for that living entity. Lord Vishnu gets pleased just with your prayer. Physically, we can't do much for each other many times, if not all the times. Pray. Pray for that jiva. Pray for that jiva. Let this jiva not suffer. Let this jiva become a devotee. Let this jiva suffering come on me. You should pray. All of us should pray. And Krishna, Vishnu becomes very pleased with our prayers. We don't have Shakti to take the pida away. Only Hari can do that. But we must pray. We must pray. I have very much. My Guru Maharaj, when he was leaving his body for 1 year, he was giving Zoom classes. In most of the classes, if you see, his theme was be kind to each other. Be kind. So we should not forget. No man, and he was not saying kind to only good devotees. Good people, you be kind. Bad people, be very unkind. Now, kindness means because we are not good, and I can talk about myself. That's why I beg all of your kindnesses. Please be kind upon me. Because without the blessings of Vaishnava, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am only made up of the mercy of Vaishnava. So yeah, we should pray for each other constantly. And these prayers will please Krishna more than our so-called arrogant services, so-called distracted things and distracted behaviors with each other. Be very, very sensitive with each other, very kind with each other as much as possible. Again, don't be stupid externally. We can't go and hug a lion. We can pray for the lion. Okay, Mohit Prabhuji. Okay, Hare Krishna.
All good. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move forward. Now, chapter 6 is a small chapter. We'll see how far we go. So now, after describing the purity of devotional service, now Rupa Goswami will start describing different limbs of devotional service, how you can perform devotional service. So this chapter will only name those limbs, and chapter 7 onwards will start description of those limbs. So as you all know, there are 64 limbs of devotional service. So this is a chapter which will expand the names of those different limbs. So we'll just quickly read and just get a high overview. And then from chapter 7, probably from the next week, we'll start description of each element. So Rupa Goswami first describes there are 64 items of sadhana. So he divides 64 into two pieces. First, 20 items of primary importance and 44 additional items. So you can say 20 plus 44. So first 20 primary items, he further subdivides into two parts. Activities to accept, which is called pravritti, and activities to reject, which is called nivritti. First 10 items is pravritti mark, what we should do, and next 10 items is what we should not do. So 10 plus 10, and 44 is also there. Now 44 also has subdivided 39 plus 5. So from 21 to 59, he's explaining the items of sadhana, and last 5 items, which is one of the most important, most effective items. So this is how the description is. So let's quickly name them. Okay. So I like to read Sanskrit. So I'll read the Sanskrit. This was very beautiful. Now Prabhupada also, Prabhupada does not give Sanskrit words. So this I have taken from actual Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and we'll take the translation today. So first one, now out of these 10 items, we'll read it in probably next week. First 3 items are the most important one. So Prabhupada mentions that first 3 items. So please read carefully. Guru Padashray. Guru Padashray means taking shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. So if you want to progress in devotional life, you must take shelter of a Guru. Now, Guru here does not just refer to Diksha Guru. Yes, definitely Diksha Guru, also Siksha Guru. Siksha Guru here refers to whoever gives you Siksha. Because without Siksha, we cannot progress. So Guru Padashra is very, very important. Number 2 is Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam. So you have taken the Diksha, for example, receiving initiation, and the importance is Siksha. So you have to follow the Siksha. You cannot say, I've taken the initiation, but I do not follow the instruction of a spiritual master. Now again, as Keshav Maharaj says many classes, Guru Maharaj instructions can be delayed, but it cannot be denied. Delay is okay because we are in different circumstances of our life. Some instructions we cannot immediately follow, but still we honor them by meditating on them. And example is Prabhupada. Prabhupada got the instruction in 1922. He executed, formally speaking, 1965-66. So 44 years he was preparing to execute those instructions. He was meditating, preparing, a lifetime of preparation. So Krishna Diksha Di Sikshanam, and then Vishrambhen Guru Seva, Guru ki seva. Very important. Serving Shri Guru with love, huh? Not with grudge. Ab to Guru Maharaj aa rahe hain. So I have to go and serve him. No, not with grudge, huh? Not out of duty, out of love. A mother serving child with love. A father, the lead of the family, looking after the family with love. Huh? So serving Shri Guru with love. Anyone can tell equivalent shloka in Bhagavad Gita quickly? Jaldi se. Mahasu Prabhu.
Pariprasthita.
Thank you. Huh? Number? Whatever. Number? 434. Huh? 434. So what's the first one there? Tadvidi pranipatena. Pranipatena means surrender. Huh? So pranipatena, surrender to the Guru. Same thing, Guru Padashray, right? Pranipatena. Pariprashrena, then you do an inquiry. So you not that pranipatena, okay, I've taken the initiation. No, inquiry. And inquire about what? Brahma Jigyasa. Not inquire about Guru Maharaj, which country I should open my new business. How can I earn more money? Huh? How can I be pacified in the material world? No, Brahma Jigyasa. It has to be Brahma Jigyasa. Huh? Pariprashnena, which is Krishna Dikshadi Sikshanam. And the third one is Pariprashnena Sevaya. Sevaya. So these three things are given in Bhagavad Gita as well. Huh? So Guru Padashray, Dikshadi Sikshanam. Siksha is very, very important. Siksha refers to Pariprashnena. Huh? Just some Adan Pradan. Huh? You are asking questions to Guru Maharaj. He is responding. You can ask again. Parikshit Maharaj is doing the same thing. Vyas Muni is doing the same thing with Narad Muni. So everywhere. Maitreya Muni doing the same thing with Vidura. Huh? So this is very, very prominent. Sutta Goswami doing with Naimisharanya sages. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. This is how the spiritual life grows. Not that, okay, I've taken initiation and that's it. No. Question answer should continue. Inquisitiveness is definitely should be there. Fourth, sadhu vartamanu vartanam. So which is vartamanu vartanam, vartama. Vartama refers to the path. We need to follow the path which our sadhus, our sages, our predecessors have taken. Huh? Mahajano yen gata sapantha. I cannot choose my individual path. Whatever path has been given by our acharyas, we should take that path. That will lead to success. Sadharma pracha. Sadharma, not kudharma. Sadharma, satdharma. Huh? Sadharma is eternal religion. That we have to inquire. Inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Bhogadi tyaga krishnasya hetave. You have to quit bhoga. Very simple Hindi, you can understand. Bhoga adi tyagaha. We have to do tyag, we have to give up bhoga. Bhoga means enjoying mentality. For what purpose? Not to become famous. Huh? So very clearly Rupa Goswami is showing. For what purpose? Krishna se hetve. Krishna ke liye chhodna hai. Tapasya. कौन सी तपस्या? कृष्ण के लिए तपस्या. That is called tapo divyam. Rishabdev uses the word tapo divyam. Tapa many people are doing. Prabhupada gives this example. A person, I'm looking at Manmohan Prabhu, sorry, admitted in the hospital. Manmohan Prabhu say, you cannot eat for next 3 days. You only have to live on soup. So this person is also doing tapasya on the instruction of Manmohan ji. Is it? And as soon as 3 days pass, he say, Prabhu, can I eat ice cream? Can I eat ice cream? Can I eat pakoda? He said, no, Prabhu, for next 3 days. He will be, ab 3 din pass honge, huh? He's also doing tapasya. A person fasting for Krishna on Janmashtami, he's also doing tapasya. At least some prema is there. We also look at the time. Prabhu, kitna time baki hai? Prabhu, 4 hours, 39 minutes. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha parvashaitam. One moment looks like 12 years, huh? Sometimes it happens. But generally, we are fasting for Krishna's pleasure, not for our pleasure, not for bodily fat reduction. Huh? Because Shekhar Maharaj says, if you're fasting not for Krishna's pleasure, then the fasting only does fat reduction. Huh? You lose the weight. Some people have this thing, even in devotee community in Damodar Mas. But the tendency is nice if you do that, no doubt in that, but you should do it for Krishna's pleasure, not for our own bodily things. Okay, number 7. Nivasa dwarkadav cha ganga der api sannidhav. Very simple. The Nivasa dwarka. Dwarka means dham. Dham vas. Huh? So as much as possible you reside in dham where Ganga ji is also there, or similar. 5 nadis are there. Vyavhareshu sarveshu yavad arthanuvartita. Arthanuvarta, for your sustenance, you have to accept something. Accept it, no problem with that. Huh? But only for your sustenance, not like building big houses, big gathering knowledge, this and that, just for the sake of accumulation. Accepting only what is required for the sustenance. So, Bhakti, you need 4 chapatis, have 4 chapatis, no problem with that. Huh? But accumulating money for all our grandkids and great grandkids, 7 pushton ke liye, that's not needed. That's not, may not be favorable for bhakti. Harivasar. Harivasar, everyone understands? Ekadasi. Harivasar Sammano. Huh? Samman means here, follow Ekadashi. So this is one of the limb of devotional service. Dhatre Ashwathadi Gauravam. So Ashwatha Tulsi Amalaka tree, that's what the translation says. Cows and the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, you should offer respects to these people. Huh? Even Ashwatha tree is mentioned. Huh? If you remember, our mother used to do for people ki puja. Huh? Charumata, you remember? Mummies used to go for people ki puja, bargat ki puja, this and that. Huh? They're actually very nice principles. Huh? We did not understand. We were just looking for the sweets. We call it gulgula. I don't know what others call it. Maybe Sundar Gopal Prabhu will know. Deve Mata, you know gulgula? That sweet thing, deep fried. Huh? So on those sort of days, we'll get those. We will only worried about the sweets, not the principle those days. But yeah, he says by Rupa Goswami, we should respect them. So these are the 10 activities which we should do. Now the next 10, it says nivratti. We should not do. What we should not do? Asadhu sanga tyaga. Everyone understands that, huh? So whoever is asadhu, huh? And that can be virtual asadhu, physical asadhu. We should not have a close association with those people. You have to work in the people in offices. Yes, we just have a very working relationship, not any deep relationship. Bahu shishya karana tyaga. Don't make many followers, and you don't have to be a guru for that. Even the community leaders, if you have a tendency to make followers, no. Keshav Maharaj was saying in one of the classes, we don't make followers, we make leaders. So if you really want to help someone, make him a leader, make her a leader, not followers. We are not here to make. Like in Sanskrit, they say, Guru doesn't make Guru. Guru doesn't make disciples. Guru only makes Guru. A real Guru makes Guru, not disciples. No followers, leaders. So we should not have any this tendency. I should become very famous. Bahu Arambha Tyag. Arambha here refers to many activities, many projects we want to do, and then we get frustrated, disappointed. Even when we do 1 or 2, Mahasu Prabhu, no, we get a little disappointed. So imagine if you have multiple projects in your mind, then Krishna may go down in our list. Bahu Shastra Vyakhya Vivadadi Tyagaha. So now we are learning so much. We are doing what do you call Shastrarth. Keshav Kashmiri doing Shastras all over India until he came to Mayapur and he got defeated by Nimai Pandit. So that's not recommended. You may have a Jayapatra. I know the most Shastra, no use. Vyavhar Karpanya Tyaga, miserly behavior. What does miserly behavior means here? Acharya Nishtha Prabhu, what does miserly behavior means here? Kripana Tyaga.
No idea, Prabhuji.
No
Sorry.
idea? Thank you for honest answer. Manmohan Prabhu? Miserly behavior, Tyaga. What does it mean?
We in that shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Karpanya dosha pahata svabhava. So miserly weakness is that we wasting our life, like we get the opportunity as in the human body to progress,
Yes.
and we give up this opportunity for material enjoyment.
Yes.
So not using that opportunity is called being miser.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Kripana refers to one who enjoys only in bodily enjoyment. So he's called a Kripana. So we may think, we are becoming very rich, very famous. Actually, you're a Kripana. And a Sajjan person, what he does, he helps others. Kripana means just limited to yourself. I should enjoy, I should become famous, and I should take all the glory, I should take all the credit. That's a Kripana. So we should have Mahatma mentality, not Kripana. Kripana Durajana, what is that words in Chapala Sukh Lav Lagire? There's a line comes in that bhajan. Prabhupada loved this bhajan. Kripana Durajana विफल से बिनु कृपण दुर्जन चपल सुख लब लागिरे. Krapana durjan, we are krapana. Chapal sukh lab lagire. We are going after chapal sukh. Very momentarily happiness, we go after that. So krapan we have here tyaga. Shok krodhadi tyaga. Shok means lamentation. Krodh means anger. We should give up those mentalities. Now it's very, very hard. I'm also just reading it out. I have all of them, but good to read. Devant, Devata, Antar, Ninda tyaga. We should not blaspheme the demigods because demigods are also devotees. They are Sakam devotees, but they're still devotees. For anything, they go to the Lord. Pramatre Udvega Tyaga, giving up the harassment of all other living entities. We should not harass any living entity in any way possible. Not even by our actions. So sorry, what to speak of our action, but even with our words, and eventually even with our mind, we should not become angry at others. Again, very, very high quality. But eventually we have to give up all these negative thoughts as well. Seva parad, nam parad, tyaga. We'll read about seva parad, nam parad. There's a whole chapter. I'll explain there. Rupa Goswami is explaining. I'll just expand on it. So giving up all offenses in regards to seva and nam. Guru Krishna Bhakta Ninda Sahan Tyaga. So if anyone is blaspheming your Guru Maharaj or any Guru, any Vaishnava Guru, Krishna blasphemy, devotee blasphemy, we should not tolerate it. And even if you cannot defeat, what you should do? Get out of that place. Get out of that place. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said you should take bath with your clothes. And there are examples in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did that. So yeah, these are the 10 activities which we should not do. I'll just quickly read. I will not read all the Sanskrit verses. I read it. What I did actually, I took all these verses and I broken it down into 44 words. So I've just written for FYI. But so these 44 items consist of 11 items. So 11 belongs to your body, how you should decorate your body as a Vaishnava. 5 belongs to your voice, 2 belongs to the taste, 1 belongs to smell, 1 to touch, 1 to sight. So you see all the Jnanendriya and Karmendriya Rupa Goswami is covering basically. So everything should become Krishna conscious. 1 is for hearing, 9 is for mind, because mind is the most chanchal. There are 9 items to control the mind. 4 items, Tadiya Seva means Vaishnava Seva. And 3 items are mixed, and 5 principal items which will read the most important ones towards the end. So I'll just quickly read them. Let's see how far we go. So body, 11 items. Just read the Sanskrit word, beautiful. Dhratir Vaishnav Chinha. Vaishnav Chinha means like tilak. We put this Vaishnav tilak on our forehead. So this is very beautiful. This is one sign of you saying, I'm a Vaishnava, or I'm trying to be a Vaishnava. Hare Nama Aksharasya Cha, marking the body of syllables of Lord Hari's names. You see sometimes, you see Radha Nam is there, Hari Nam is there. So they mark their body. Nirmalya Desacha, wearing the garlands, flowers, and sandalwood offered to the deity. The morning you go to Prabhupada Puja, they will put some sandalwood, or you get Lord's garland sometimes. It's very, very nice. Sankarshan Maharaj was saying, by wearing Lord's garland, we win over Maya. Radha Govind Maharaj was saying you should wear garland, many, many hours. You can even sleep with the garland. You'll have sweet dreams of Lord. Instead of having other dreams, you can have dreams of Lord. Tasyagre Tandava, dancing before the deity. Many times devotees say, why are you dancing? Why are you so emotional? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was objected. He said, here it is. Tasyagre Tandav. You know the Tandav? Now the translation is saying dancing, but actual word is Tandav. What does Tandav mean? Now, Avatar Prabhu? Severe dance. Now again, respectfully, obviously. But the point here is Tandav word is used. So Sanskrit is so nice. Tandav, not just dancing. So means, yeah, dance if your body allows for the pleasure of the Lord, not to impress others. Dandavan Natihi, offering respects. When we enter into the temple room, we offer pranam to Vaishnava, then we offer pranam to Prabhupada, offer pranam to Tulsi Rani. Then we go to Radha Gopinath. Then we accept the charnam. Then we come out, we do all the pranams again. There's so many dandavats we do. Abhyuthanam, rising up to see the Lord. If the Lord is coming, what you should do? Rise up. That is a bhakti. If a sannyasi comes in and you are just sitting, it's not good. Or any advanced Vaishnava, you should rise up. Welcome him by rising up. Anuvrajya, following behind the Lord position. Rath Yatra. Anuvrajya is a limb of devotional service. Gatihi, going to the Lord's residence. You should go to Gopinath temple. Many devotees I know, they go on a daily basis. They just go and see the Lord. They cannot live without seeing the Lord, no matter how they are, where they are. Isthane parikrama, circumambulating the Lord or his dham. That was we do. Vrindavan parikrama, Govardhan parikrama, archana, performing archana, deity worship, which we do at home as well. Paricharya, performing menial service to the deity, changing the dress, abhishek and all that. So this belongs to whole body. Voice. Geetam, singing for the deity. Sankirtam, singing in a group. So there's a difference. Geet means you sing in your kitchen while cooking for Krishna. Sankirtanam, you go out for Harinam. Japaha, we perform japa. Vigyapti, offering words or sentiments. Istav Pathascha, reciting prayers from Bhagavatam, Kunti Marani prayers, Bhishma prayers, Gajendra prayers, and all those things. Taste. Swado Naivedya. This one we like. Number 17 we all like. Prasadam. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmani Vaishnavaya. Swado Naivedya. Naivedya means one which has been offered to the Lord. Swado. You can taste it. That Mahaprasad. Swado Padya. Padya Yoho. Padya means Charnamrita. So when we do this archana to the Lord, the Charnamrita comes out. We should honor that. Smell Dhoop Malyadi Saurabhyam. So in Aarti, when you go to Ekadashi, Mangala Aarti, little Veda will come and she will give you some flowers. That is a anga of bhakti, for example. Sri Murte Sprashtis, touching the deity. When a pujari finishes the puja, he touches the deity or she touches the deity. Sight. Sri Murte Ekshanam, seeing the deity. Just going to the temple to see the deity, to see the Lord. Seeing the Aarti and festivals, it says just by standing in the Aarti, you are killing sinful reactions of millions of births. Shravanam, hearing the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. Mind, there are 9 things. So this is some anga of bhakti as well. Tat krapekshanam, smritir dhyanam, dasyam, sakhyam, atmanivedanam, nij priyopaharanam. Nij priyopaharanam is like in Damodar Maas, you give up something for the pleasure of the Lord. Whatever is very dear to you, you give it to the Lord. Tad arthe akhil cheshritam, making full efforts for the service of Lord. Prabhupada, he gave up his life practically for the service of Lord. Sarvata sharna pattis tadiyanam cha, surrendering to the Lord. We'll read about every single element as they come. I'm just reading the name today. Okay, it's 9:02. I think I'll stop here. So we'll cover this next week. Any quick announcements? Charumata, you have something to say?
Yeah, Prabhu, can you send this to us in the group?
Sure, Mataji, sure. I'll send the photos, or you can take the photos from video as well. That's fine. But put it nicely so that we can all remember, but I'll send the photos, no problem. Anything else from anyone? If it's a long question, I'll not take, not to avoid you, but we'll do it next time. Sundar, Gopal, Prabhuji, any announcements?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, not at this stage. I think you already said we'll do the cover-up class sometime in March. So that's...
Yeah, Fab is a little busy. Okay, let's stop here. It's 9:03. Sorry, I went 3 minutes over time. Didn't realize the watch.